Am I live? Is this happening right now? Assuming I am live because it's so awkward if I'm just sitting here. Wait a second. It says I'm live, but like what? And this is when 90% of people are gonna click off the video. Anyways, today I figured I could just go live and kind of talk about this whole situation going on. As in, somebody who used to be friends with DissociaDID came forward and kind of talked about their experience being friends with them, and it answers a lot of questions for us, so let's make sure I'm live, because that would be a moment. Okay, it says I'm live. So, anyways, I am sharing my screen right now. I'm on the DissociaDID Reddit, and all of these links will be in the description. But, I mean, I've kind of already given an introduction to this. This is someone saying, I was DissociaDID's friend for 3 years, here's what I know. And also, I don't know if I'm going to edit this part out of the live. Hi, AI Quinn, thank you so much for being here. I don't know if I'm going to edit this part out because it's like, I'm the privacy for this person, but I guess we could just kind of get into it. So, hey guys, all of the trigger warnings going forward. Yeah, trigger warning I know for specifically SA, I was best friends with DissociaDID from December 2021 to February of 2024, and we spoke almost every single day. I loved them, and they loved me and my family. What you see online is what it is. Also, Michelle's side note, I know, like, I've picked the weirdest day to go live because I live right next to a street, and it's almost like every single person possible wants to go on that street. So if you hear background noise, I'm honestly thinking about moving my desk because it's very inconvenient. Hello, yes, I am live. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Plant Life Forever 69. Hi, Bella. Hi, Mr. Heidi Spacetime. I was believing DissociaDID until I saw that. Yeah, and I mean, the person in this thing is saying that they believe DissociaDID does have DID, so, I mean, we're gonna also kind of look at the comments and what people have to say about that. But anyways, they are always sick, always the victim, always switching, always having a new alter, always thinking of interactions between alters, and always having some crisis or problem, even if they're not posting it. There's always they're always the emergency friend. I think they lean into their DID and feel that the more separate they are, the more valid their trauma is. They used me for support until they didn't need me anymore. They said, I was the best mother we ever had. Yeah, that's, Anyways, they discarded me for sharing the Sergio emails with one other system whom I thought I could trust. The system told me I deserved support for supporting DissociaDID, and then tattled on me for sharing. I believe now that this was a setup and they wanted more information, only pretending to support me until they could get to DissociaDID themselves. So I'm kind of confused about that part, but I don't know. Moving on. We were always asking about DissociaDID, how they were, and what was going on. They'd be the third person to try to befriend DissociaDID through me, but was the only effective one. Congratulations on your success, this person. Yeah, and I will kind of say that is that just factually, I mean, I guess everything in this video is literally alleged because this is just someone's story. I mean, we can go out on a limb here and say that, like, this is a fake account or something. So anyways, but in the past, it does seem as though DissociaDID, like, will make friends with someone. I know for sure, and I feel bad because I feel like Braided does not want to be talked about in this way, like in correlation with DissociaDID, but they were friends with Braided, and then they were friends with this person, and someone else who I don't know, but it seems like they become so attached to one another, and then all of a sudden something happens and they're just not friends anymore. So ironically, DissociaDID ended our friendship at the same time I said I wanted my system to live life more covertly. Tartan and I had just fallen out. One of their alters would start screaming out of me from nowhere in text messages and VMs. I told them that Alter couldn't contact me anymore, but this was a huge problem for them, and they said they couldn't isolate that Alter because bad things would happen to the system as a result. Their commitment to overt multiplicity was so extreme that they made the conscious choice to side and support with an abusive Alter instead of using the opportunity as a teaching moment for that Alter to learn how to function in real-life relationships without maladaptive coping skills. I decided then and there I wanted to be nothing like that, and if I was, I needed to fix it. That's not healing, that's literally more disordered. So, I mean, yeah, the idea of, like, saying that I don't, like, I mean, I don't know. The idea of, like, if this Alter is unable to communicate effectively, I don't think that it's a good relationship for us. That's kind of the same way as, like, me saying I don't want to be friends with this singlet person. I know that that's a weird word. That's, I would say, valid, right? If they're unable to meet your healthy boundaries. So, where did I leave off? DissociaDID just kind of stopped talking to me after that. $20 says that DissociaDID replaced me with Tartan. Am I pronouncing this right? I can't do my read aloud. Oh no. Just like they replaced Braided with me. DissociaDID expects their friends to keep up with the most gut-wrenching things like unalive attempts, starvation, and SA a secret for them with no one to talk to. It's exceedingly toxic, and I couldn't see that until the friendship was over. Need I say more? The biggest problem I have with DissociaDID's return is that after the Stalker, multiple Alters were vehemently against returning to YouTube, to the point that a child Alter made a serious attempt on their life because they did not want to go back to the channel. I'm honestly kind of speechless at the moment, so I guess I'll just kind of continue. Hello, Jordan Hollister. This attempt left them with neck and head injuries that I begged them to get help for, but they never did. Even DissociaDID's little know the channel is getting dangerous for them. Soran, and if you are not up to date, which I mean, if we have time, I was thinking we could kind of talk about the new video, the new host, and all of that, but this is a lot, so I guess we'll kind of see. Although I don't really have much to say about it because what this person said is just how it is, so it's like, I don't know how much I could add to it. Soran is the new host of the DissociaDID system, to my understanding, right? Anyways, Soran is forcing themselves to record even when everything in their body is screaming at them to stop because they need the money and validation. Because they refuse to do anything besides live as multiple as possible, they have no other job prospects and no other way of generating income. DissociaDID is absolutely harming their traumatized Alters by parading them around on the internet. They don't get a lot of money after fees actually, but it does help them meet basic needs. I think the validation is more important to them than money though. That is a very difficult situation. The Stalker is real. I saw photos of him getting arrested outside of DissociaDID's house with his suitcases. Man really did get off the plane and Ubered straight to DissociaDID's house. They got a doorbell camera after. It would be better if they made him up. The problem is that they are dealing with Taylor Swift type stalkers who come to their real house with no Taylor Swift type of security. They are not in any way, shape, or form safe to be making content. That is very scary. I have no idea. How do other YouTubers with lots of fans deal with that kind of situation? I can't believe this ex-friend believes DissociaDID has DID. I mean, because when I was reading this, I was like, damn, like, you know, the way that they're describing this, you know, it sounds like DissociaDID, but then at the same time, you know, you read the comments and you kind of think about it, because what is DissociaDID gonna do? Like, going out on a limb here to play devil's advocate that DissociaDID there's a possibility, I don't know, that they don't have DID, and I'm not saying it's okay to fake claim just anyone, you know, they wouldn't like just casually admit that to their friend, especially if it's their source of validation. Anyways. So, did I already read this? But because they so desperately need people to see them and recognize their victimhood, they will take next to no steps to protect themselves when they are expected, and then will expect to be treated like the helpless victim when, lo and behold, bad things happen. Have you ever heard of a self-fulfilling prophecy? Like, it's like, I can't think of a good example right now, but it's kind of like, you go out on this is a bad example because I can't. It's very different. But it's like you go out on a rainy day and then you come inside and you're like, you guys, I got all wet, like I'm drenched. And it's like, well, that was a self-fulfilling prophecy to my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong. The other problem I have is, they are willing to pay any price for their validation, no matter how it affects people and no matter how it affects them. I don't think they understand that about themselves. I mean, that kind of, to quote Reddit, people are saying, like, DissociaDID needs to be the most traumatized. And I don't know, like, can anybody, with any sort of dissociative disorder or PTSD kind of relate to this in the way that you want validation? Because I know for specifically a lot of people with PTSD, like, I don't know, like, bad example, but if you go to war or something, these people don't want to talk about it, you know what I mean? Self-sabotage, what's a self-fulfilling prophecy then? Whatever, thank you for correcting, and thank you so much for being here, Peniel Peggy. The other problem I have with the red, yellow, green stoplights intercourse advice video, before they fused, Mara and Kaya went to BDSM clubs, I think 3 times. Okay, so I'm just going to put all these trigger warnings like in the comments or something, because this is a lot. Anyways, the video was made during that time. Reddit said that it was the type of advice that would get someone SA'd, and it did. I can't remember specifics about this video, but I mean, I made a video about it, and anyways, the point is that DissociaDID gave advice about intercourse, and first of all, I don't know how that would apply to someone with DID, amnesia, and the potential for switching, but I can't remember. We have to go back. Anyways, you guys are like, Michelle, just read. Reddit said it was the type of advice that would get someone SA'd, and it did. It got them SA'd at a club. It has genuinely been eating at me since it was published, and Reddit clocked it within seconds. Even though it got them seriously hurt, they still put that advice online for other vulnerable people to follow. The moment DissociaDID chose to do that, they crossed a very big line. I ignored it because they were my friend. In my last email to them, I said, I wish I could tell Reddit that they were right. I decided I didn't want to wish anymore. The yellow, red, green. Because doesn't yellow kind of mean no? Anyways, I wish I had more context. Regardless of Jordan says, regardless of the why can't I pronounce anything today? Validity of DissociaDID's diagnosis, them continuing to go online when a part of themselves knows how dangerous it is could be a symptom itself. True. Self-fulfilling is obsessing about something to a degree that will cause it to happen. Fair enough. Thank you so much for sharing. DissociaDID also engaged in a scene there that they said was therapeutic because they were, quote, in control, unquote. But it ultimately ended up triggering them so much that they quit the lifestyle. DissociaDID has always said that BDSM can be a way to work out trauma, but never tells anyone about the problems it caused them. I don't know enough about that to say whether that is a healthy or unhealthy coping mechanism. They kept trying to merge DID safe spaces with BDSM safe spaces because that's what they wanted, without ever considering the experiences of others who would come to that space and consequences it could potentially have. DissociaDID has no intercourse boundaries and will try to convince others that they are prude and even anti-intercourse and anti-trans if they feel differently. They are very good at making people feel like there's something wrong with them for bringing it up. They make you feel good when you are on their side. If you react to something differently than DissociaDID, then that's the wrong way to react. But if DissociaDID is triggered by something, then it's a real issue. They were only just starting to fathom the piñata situation when the stalker arrived. So I feel like this is a level expert DissociaDID live, because if you don't know a lot about DissociaDID, you're like, who's piñata? All I can say is that they drew pictures of CP, you know. It takes them a very, very long time to sort through things because they're in a fantasy land so often. When I finally was able to tell them how bad the art actually was, they said, "Please tell me we haven't been this stupid." When I described the worst art, their surprised and sickened reaction seemed genuine. So, I mean, and then Braided said the same thing. That literally the same conversation happened about them explaining the pictures, and DissociaDID was shocked, and that could be like a defense, as in like they already knew and they're just pretending, or it could be like an amnesia thing. They insulate themselves well from gossip and they don't go on Reddit. What do you guys think about this? Because honestly, what this person says, it makes sense that they wouldn't go on Reddit, because it's like, I don't know that you want to see all of these negative things about you. But then again, if you do want to control every narrative possible, it's like you would want to know. And then people are saying like things that people say on Reddit are DissociaDID will literally just cherry pick that and turn it into their life or pretend, you know what I mean? Like, for example, Reddit once said that DissociaDID doesn't talk about having amnesia very much, when dissociative identity disorder is an amnesia-based disorder. And then DissociaDID, like, a day later starts talking about it. And then there was that one time... am I talking too quickly? There was that one time when Reddit was... I forget what they were talking about, but Reddit was saying something, and then, like, a few hours later, DissociaDID went on TikTok and was saying, like, Reddit was wrong. So I don't know, maybe, like, other people were reading it for them. I went on Reddit for them, but they didn't even want me to do that. If they don't see something, then it doesn't exist. So, I mean, that explains why they delete the comments then. It's like, well, it never happened. So I really don't think they ever saw Piñata's art. I know Piñata kept it a secret from them. The problem with this is that Piñata caused the community really harm with the whole thing, and DissociaDID preferred to keep their head in the sand about it. Granted, they were Piñata's victim also. Granted, Sergio was in their ear saying it wasn't that bad. I'm so confused about the Sergio conversation, like, whole situation thing, you guys. But to this day, they still haven't worked through it. In every situation, they quickly find out how it victimized them, but they always stop short of going on to comprehend any role that they might have played or the impact that their own actions may have had. I don't think their recent TikTok where they were sick and was knowingly aimed at Piñata or any sign that they're together. DissociaDID said that illness was one of the only things they fought about with Piñata, and they were never in on it. I mean, like, I'm just saying that, like, I don't know DissociaDID personally. Obviously, all I can do is take what this person is saying. But it seems to me in that case that you would always want yourself to be in the best light. So in a hypothetical situation like this, it seems like you wouldn't admit to being into that, but also that it could be very well that they weren't into it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically Team Piñata had a kink for being sick and sneezing and stuff like that. And I don't know, like they would make videos about alters, how the different alters sneeze and stuff, which is very arguable to be disturbing for the audience, knowing that they were exposed to that without knowing it. I think DissociaDID just never connected the dots, right? They never stopped to think that their ex was a bug chase. They never stopped to think that their ex was a bug chaser and made snot kink content that they might not want to advertise being sick because they don't think about those things. Anyone who does is making something out of nothing. They don't even list their friends' constructive criticism. They don't even listen to their friends' constructive criticism. I tried to tell them that putting the Kaya & Co. TikTok link on YouTube was literally connecting the two, but I see from their newest video that they are still posting the link and saying that they're not connected. DissociaDID thinks they can magically make them not connected by telling us that they're not. That is an interesting psychology. DissociaDID teaches that alters should be given the same rights to time in the body and that they are just as much people as any physical person. Yet this approach has resulted in their own alters hurting them and even trying to end their lives. I mean, I don't have DID, but the way that this person is explaining it is OP, is kind of like, you know, if an alter is actively harmful to the body, they should not be out. I don't know if this is, like, maybe in a therapeutic setting they should. Surprised Pikachu face. With experience, people don't necessarily feel the feeling, know what's inherently wrong, so they are the best actors. I imagine those, what emotions is, wait, I'm confused. Oh, what a great magic trick. I'll just keep my eyes closed. It'll remove all of my problems. Y'all didn't know about this? Are you kidding me? I also call it rose-colored eyeglasses. One convincing themselves of something, so when the reality is shoved in their face, they react with seemingly reasonable emotions. Interesting. I appreciate that. They tell us that we're bad hosts if we don't help these alters or let them experience life like a real person. Yet this very thing causes them no end of problems trying to function in the world and anywhere else that isn't a platform they themselves control the image of. I'm sorry, my brain is starting to go. Okay, it's almost over. It's almost over, you guys. My brain is starting to be like, Michelle, you're not used to reading. Hello, Eva. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, Willow, have a good rest of your day at work, ? Thank you so much for being here as well. Chem and Red are fictives from an erotic A03 fanfiction. They said they would kill me if I ever said. At the end of our friendship, Soran was pretty much him, Chem, and Red fronting in the front, having constant intercourse with each other. So what I gather from this is that alters are having intercourse, or... Anyways, I bring this up because Chem and Red are on the channel. DissociaDID talks about them as protectors and talks about how that's how system communication can look like, but it doesn't actually tell the whole story. Those are the most important things that I think impact real people in the world and that I want people to know when they choose to consume DissociaDID content. I still believe I was wrong to come for DissociaDID's job during my first iteration of BSery. My brain was loading. I don't think it's okay to rally people online to affect someone IRL because of what they post online unless it's hate speech. We all have the freedom to post what we want and we can all choose what we watch. That said, informed consent matters and DissociaDID is not providing that. They present the only small pieces of who their alters really are and what they really do, and then play it off like maximizing your multiplicity is a healthy way to cope. They are continuing to portray DID as interesting and quirky without telling anyone how much their own overt multiplicity is harming them. I watched it through. I know what I saw. I'm aggrieved that they are back. The Smoles are scared. I know it puts DissociaDID in danger, and they know it too, yet they will forge ahead because they are okay with ignoring it. They will pay any price to be on YouTube and make others pay any price. They need people to tell them that they are really sick and that they're valid and loved more than they need safety. I worry. I guess that's kind of parasocial of me to worry. Also, please give this live a thumbs up, subscribe, you guys. I'm so sorry. Anyways, DissociaDID's advice has ruined my life for 6 years. That was so ridiculous of me to say in an inappropriate time, now that I'm thinking about it. Anyways, DissociaDID's advice has ruined my life for 6 years. To this day, since the day I laid eyes on the first video. I'm only now digging myself and family out of the consequences that trying to live multiple has caused. I'm talking homeless thrice, criminal charges twice, lost family members, hospitalizations, and a night in jail. I'm ashamed of the way I've treated people because they should recognize my victim status and see how traumatized I was. DissociaDID made it all look okay, but it wasn't okay. Not for me, and actually not for them. And that's what I think you should know. I'm okay with having, quote unquote, come back to Reddit for that. I can answer a few questions anyways, so I highly doubt this person is watching this, but thank you so much for sharing this. I don't know, I mean, it kind of, I don't know, because a lot of the time we're trying to figure out what's going on with DissociaDID, and I feel like this person kind of blatantly stated what happened between them. But also, we need to make a support group for people who used to be friends with DissociaDID, because Braden commented on this and said, I just want to say I'm really glad you got out and I hope you're doing better. Also, I don't know if I'd give them the same benefit of the doubt about Team Piñata. They decided to drop me basically moments after I started telling them how bad Team Piñata was, because I finally had someone fully explain it to me, and unfortunately before that had just been directed places, but chose to believe them that anything was twisted / made it seem worse than what it is. Not trying to say others didn't try sooner and I should have listened. I'm pretty sure they said almost the same thing verbatim. Please tell me we haven't been that stupid, or something like that. Reading your post definitely brought me back. They seemed shocked and I believed them, and then almost immediately they found a reason to drop me. That sounds more and more like it is a pattern. Yeah, so that's interesting to me. That they literally said the same thing to Braided verbatim. I hope you're doing well, and I'm really, really glad that you're away from that toxic energy. Okay, sorry, I was just checking if this person was OP. So anyways, how's you guys' day going? I'm trying to see what I want to read. Okay, so this person is asking questions, and OP actually responded to them. They said, do you recall the definitive time frame when Kaya became Soran? Do you recall any conversations they had with you as it happened? Any info? And I just kind of like to put my thoughts on there and what I've seen on Reddit, as in people. My question is, so when you go through an integration or a fusion, I know that you cannot use these words interchangeably, and I just did. First of all, we have to consider who is Soran. Is that Mara? Is Mara in there? So Mara holds this SA trauma, and they fuse with Kaya. So in that way, even when, you know, Chloe integrated with Nina, from what I've heard from other systems with DID, it can be devastating to integrate, because you have memories of all of these things. Like, this did happen to me, because why do these alters exist? To hold these memories so that, you know, others don't have to. Anyways, so the answer is, it took a really long time for Kaya and Mara to fuse, months. They didn't want to believe it was happening. When it did, the new host took several weeks and to choose their name and their appearance. We talked about it all, sent pictures back and forth of what they thought they looked like and things I saw that seemed to fit with what they had told me. Discussed names, and I made a lot of suggestions. It was a rabbit hole. I was deep in it. So, yeah, and then at the same time, DissociaDID didn't really, I don't know, I didn't watch their new video because I don't like watching DissociaDID, okay? It's just a personal preference. I guess maybe we can watch some clips together, but, you know, I believe from what I've heard on Reddit that they didn't really talk about therapy in this video, and in that way it is interesting how they go through these integrations. You know what I mean? Because if you're not in therapy, usually when something traumatic happens, you might split, I believe. I mean, so it's interesting how there were fusions happening during this time. I mean, I guess in the video, DissociaDID talked about how the fusion was kind of halted, and like some people were saying the things that they said. Hold on. The things that they said in the video, I don't know. I'm trying to gather my thoughts.
Two alters. What came out of it was two alters that are both from Mara and Kaya, who are twins. That
okay.
Is Soran and his sister. Soran is the only one who will be making videos for you. He's the more stable of the two, and Soran is our current host. To make it super simple as we can, Kaya was fusing with Mara, new trauma happened, that alter, which would have been Soran, split, and there's
Wow. Damn, I was not expecting that. But is that I don't know.
Two new alters. Soran is the new host who came from...
Anyways, what I was trying to say is, like, someone on Reddit was saying how DissociaDID was trying to say that the reason that they were acting out and, like, not, and being very disrespectful to people on the internet was because of this integration happening. Anyways, I don't know if we want to talk about the whole hypersexuality thing. Were you aware of what the fan fiction was about, or did DissociaDID say this in passing? Please tell me the fan fiction was not questionable. I don't know. And then OP said, I don't know the fan fiction. They told me kind of in passing, but then they dished the tea. I don't go on A03. I literally don't know what that is. But from what I know, there are a lot of questionable things over there. And Chem and Red are always banging. It seems plausible to make the connection that those behaviors are from the source material that was, in fact, questionable. It's a fanfic? My bad. I thought it was like an anime thing. Anyways, did you know any alters aside from Kaya and Soran closely? Is there anything to note from what you remember about how the other alters behaved? They answered, I talked to a few alters. Their child alter that said I was the best mother they ever had was very close to me. For Christmas, I did a total stan behavior thing, and I sent them collages of pictures for each alter. They were pics of the gifts that I would... Oh my God, my brain. get each one and how I would wrap them. I loved it. It was sick. I hated that I did it and I miss it. I loved them and they effed me up so good. So the person asked, did you notice aggression of alters towards you, such as Mara? And they said, Mara and I reached a common ground, but we didn't engage alone much. She was pretty much just always co-con with Kaya, and I knew of her being around. I met Demon once, and he just told me to tread carefully, but we never fought. Not once. We never disagreed about things. We cried about Palestine together. They never treated me like they treat some people online. They just stopped talking to me. I mean, that is different from the whole braided experience. They just stopped talking to me, and then a few weeks later, they told me they were done with me. Okay. Well, anyways. So it's not like Steven Universe. You know what? Unfortunately, I'm so sorry to break this news to you. The split makes sense. The fusion with no therapy, not so much. Thank you for, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, everyone's just saying, I'm just proud of you, you know. I'm so deeply sorry that you went through these experiences. Wow, so this person is kind of like reacting to these different paragraphs. Wow, even offline, they're dramatic and feeding into their own delusion. Which, I mean, I think Reddit kind of predicted that. Like, they kind of already knew that. They said, that's messed up that they called you the best mother they ever had when you are not their mother, you're their friend / they were their friends, and friends shouldn't have to be the role of a parent for someone. That's just not appropriate. Yeah, I mean, I would say, like, even in a therapeutic setting, but more so in a therapy, I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Thank you for sharing, Eva. Integration is also being stated wrong now. I've gone through integration and fusion and not new alters being made. It's healing and becoming one with the host. Well, Eva, thank you so much for answering that. And I would like a follow-up question for you. Can you go through splits and fusion? I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but first of all, what are your thoughts on going through a fusion when you're not in therapy? This is an assumption that they're not in therapy. I'm not their friend. I don't know. But also, is it possible to go through a integration and fusion together? And anyways, that's my questions. As a patient with DID and other things, nothing of what Chloe says makes sense. I mean, the way that this person described it as though, like, they do have DID, but they're also so into the glamorization of it, and they're not even, like, they've got to know, though, that they're leaving things out conveniently. Like, this person is saying that certain alters are not just these happy-go-lucky alters they present on the internet. So DissociaDID has to be aware that they're playing it up, but obviously they might think that they're justified in doing that for some reason. I mean, it is such a tricky situation because it's like, what is DissociaDID supposed... I mean, let's say that they do, you know, go offline forever, which what this person is saying, it would be the healthiest thing for them. What are they supposed to do for income? I mean, I guess there's lots of things, like, for example, going on disability or something. But anyways, Eva said, integration is a very painful process, and it took 10 years of intense therapy. She never talks about any of that. I mean, how old is DissociaDID? 10 years ago, they were like 18. And they started making videos when they were I'm just guessing 20. But when they first started making videos, they automatically had such great communication with alters, working and if what this person is working very well together, but if what this person is saying is true, then DissociaDID was also not being truthful about that, because if they don't have good communication now, maybe their idea of what good communication is not the same as ours. I don't know. They don't act like they are in therapy. You said it. I don't know what to say. I'm just reading a YouTube comment. Didn't they say posting about their trauma on TikTok was therapeutic for them, LOL? Yeah, so that one time they kind of did, though, low-key. I remember this one TikTok, I always bring this up, but it's like this one TikTok they said, I freaking need to post this or my alters will be mad at me. And it's like, well, that is not a very healthy coping skill, is it? Yeah, and then other people are talking about how the laws about stalking and stuff in England, and whether someone would go to prison for 9 months for, what did they do? I don't think it was breaking and entering. I think they literally just showed up at their front door. Oh, but this person answered. They said, I don't know if he is in prison. So this is OP. They were still waiting for the trial when they ended our friendship. I wouldn't doubt he is, though. They probably got him on some big harassment and stalking charges. He'd emailed them a couple times before showing up, and they ignored it. Ooh, that is so scary, dude. The situation was very real and very dangerous. Team Pinata did cheat. Oh, my God. What they did to DissociaDID was wrong. I believe they set out to groom DissociaDID. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, you guys. Oh, this is giving me the heebie-jeebies. I believe they set out to groom DissociaDID, who was nearly 10 years their junior. What? They did to DissociaDID what DissociaDID does. Constant emergencies, constant drama, constant health issues. Anyways. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm willing to read you guys' thoughts on this, though. How convenient. I'm from England. No way would you go to prison for just turning up to someone's door. You'd get caution. There'd be more than that. Yeah, I mean, I'd freaking... What am I doing? I'm opening Instagram. Oh, I'm so sorry. I cannot answer right now. Anyways. I mean, someone was saying that, like, they were like, I have personal experience with a simulation serious to this, and this person said that they kind of just got, like, minimal charges or a slap on the wrist. I don't freaking know, and I don't know the whole story, so... yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted to talk about that too. They say filming triggers PTSD flashbacks, but then films them talking about their trauma. Like, maybe it isn't healthy. Yeah, maybe. She fuses and does all these things as if it would be a piece of cake. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if we should go through this. So these were proof emails posted from OP. The reason I say OP is because I don't remember their name, and also I want to give them, you know, as much confidentiality as I can. So these, I don't know, this person is just kind of posting proof of things that happened. I don't know if we should go through this or not. So this person helped DissociaDID with their Reddit is evil video. I don't know. I think we did watch that video together. Anyways, so I don't know if this will make sense without the context of having read all of this, but anyways, Braided said, the degree to which reading these and reading your previous posts and comments under it takes me back is insane. Them sending drafts to be looked over before posting. It feels awful looking back because I saw the red flags in their behavior but didn't recognize them because I was explaining it away as them not realizing what they were doing. I try to give them notes to guide them on what to do and say less problematic things, but even then I knew if I said directly they did anything, even potentially questionable, it wouldn't be taken well, so I'd always frame it as people are probably going to interpret that the wrong way and attack you for that. That kind of, just to me personally, have you ever like had someone in your life where you kind of have to walk on eggshells around them? It's kind of getting that vibe. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be very careful what you say. You know, if you disagree with them, you have to very much sugarcoat that. Anyways, Braided said, maybe it's a mix of people pleasers in me not wanting to directly criticize, but I know that deep down I knew they wouldn't accept any direct critique. It feels awful looking back knowing I saw them say problematic things that never even made it online and just explain it away for myself as not thinking their words through. I learned a lot from them about recognizing red flags, but I regret that it took me, it honestly sounds like I'm no therapist or anything. Therapist Michelle, that you might have been manipulated and darvoed. Yeah, we're talking about the parents, which we're not talking about on YouTube. Okay, so then we have a few other things we can go over. This person is, what are they saying? I think this person is saying, sorry, no. I'm a skeptic and it just feels like more bait. I don't know, is this person saying that they don't believe OP? Oh, well, I mean, we might just skip over this, TBH. The DissociaDID lore. Anyways, moral of this one is that this person says, yeah, that poster is just further cementing my thoughts that Chloe is a giant liar and not a good person. All right, well, that's a little bit of a jump into conclusions. You know, we don't know that they're a bad person, but they're doing actions that a good person might not do, I guess. Okay, Peggy, are you here? I'm going to read your comment. I'm skeptical as well, mainly because DT said she scoured this sub for a ton of info and helped DissociaDID make contents out of it. And here there's a ton of inconsistencies being brought up constantly about how she also mentioned as okay, I think I'm kind of out of context here. She also mentioned as inconsistency as well about DissociaDID going to BDSM clubs while she was claiming to be agoraphobic. If I had a friend that claimed to be agoraphobic and tell me she was going to BDSM clubs alone, I'd be A, concerned, and B, wonder if they were being truthful about having agoraphobia. I forgot about the whole agoraphobia thing, Peggy, so it happened. I dropped my mic. I'm sorry. Oh my god. I'm sorry, headphone users. The day has come. I dropped them. Anyways, we're not going to dwell on it. She mentions Kaya and Mara went to BDSM clubs, but it was Seer that claimed to help them with agoraphobia and return to nature and whatever. Maybe it's just blind following, which is kind of cultish in my opinion. Not really what I would call a genuine friendship. Maybe if we have time, another time we can get into this. Everyone has agoraphobia since 2020. Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know. I've only heard, I don't know. If you don't know agoraphobia, I can't even explain it, but it's basically when you have severe heightened anxiety when you have to leave your house. Anyways, so this person is kind of talking about how it is convenient that there was a host fusion in the way that I believe this will be the third time DissociaDID went offline for a long period of time. And then when they came back online, they had a new host, which to a lot of people does scream DissociaDID cinematic universe and not DID, although could be a coincidence.
Kaya and Mara, and that's where we're going to leave it because it's just too complicated. It's too complicated to get into. We've never had anything that difficult to understand happen in our system before. So your guess is as good as mine as to what the hell happened there, but essentially the way the brain was trying to process and heal things was interrupted, corrupted. New host is Soran. I'm Soran. I have Kem and Red with me as well, and Mike watching me very closely, but this is mostly Soran at the minute. Hi, nice to meet you.
Sorry, I just keep scrolling down because I'm terrified of copyright. Okay, what are you guys on about? So Eva said, yeah, Jordan, I can't fathom how she talks. Michelle got to see a live session of me having an interlope seizure and my legs quenched. No way I'm aware of my surroundings, nose bleeding and shaking. So Eva, I'm laughing. That's appropriate. Eva's basically talking, Eva is an individual who lives with dissociative identity disorder, and she did show me a video of her having a flashback going through, and she was having interlope seizures, legs clenched, things like that, and for example, like seeing a little from someone who has DID is very different than the way that I have seen dissociated's littles. I mean, I don't want to like overstep any boundaries, but at the same time, I just can't picture the little that I met going to Disneyland and recording their experience there, and it's just kind of like it was. I think it was Chloe at the time. It just seemed like Chloe, but at a younger age. Like, they still had awareness, they knew how to vlog, they knew what they were doing, and I don't know, maybe some littles are able to do that. But also, in this new video, people are talking about, like, it's so funny how no matter what altar is on there, they still manage to plug all of the things to donate money. That's just petty at this point. Memories are beyond painful. Yes. After 10 years in therapy, I just can say it isn't the real happy family altar she has. The thing about you have to organize something with other people, it will never be easy. I can't even imagine, like, I try to put myself in the shoes of that, and it's extremely difficult. Let's see here. They probably do have increased anxiety about going outside, but that's not the same at all. Yeah, this is unrelated, but I was questioning whether I had agoraphobia because I have this is so stupid. Why am I talking about this? When I have a panic attack, I have it feels like I'm having a heart attack. And so I'm afraid that will happen in public. So I do have heightened anxiety when I'm in public, but I do go in public. You know what I mean? So not agoraphobia, although I'm not a doctor. Yeah, I like how they are claiming agoraphobia now, but have no clue what it consists of. Wait, the background music? I couldn't really hear it. Maybe you could hear it better on the stream. I know, the Cruella hair, I know. Everyone has some level of social anxiety. Agoraphobia is so much more than that. In some cases, it's not people that cause the anxiety, but it's simply going out. It's much, much worse. Thank you so much for explaining that, because it is so easy to diagnose yourself with agoraphobia, especially when you do have social anxiety or, you know, a similar situation. There's a bird, like, freaking out outside my house right now. Why did I? He's like, anyways, Eva says, you're welcome to share any public you've seen from me and how it was. This is my life and how it is. Thank you so much, Eva. So with that being said, Eva, I just can't really fathom your little going to Disneyland and like just recording. But anyways, so now we're going to talk about convenient host fusion plus notable split history. Right? Okay, this isn't a post about the science of fusions or splits, merely about the coincidence of dissociatids. Unable to meet my new Alter video, links have been taken from this archive post. Oh wow, we got all of wow. Oh yeah, you didn't know, Eva? Dissociatid has a unicorn alter named Jewel. I can't believe, how dare you not know that. So Nin, are we really just going to talk about all of the past? Nin was Chloe and plus Nina. The whole Chloe and Nina fusion occurred at the same time as their partner system, Team Piñata. That is true. And then those alters like continued to date. In the end result of Nin made a cute couple name plus, wait, what was his name? Nan. Yeah, it was Nin and Nan. Oh my God, this is when I was a fan. I'll take the L. Because I just thought it was, I don't know. I used to listen to the DissociaDID podcast, like the, with DissociaDID and Team Piñata, and I was like, so educated and smart. Just takes me back. Anyways, plus there was more PDA from that point. Correct me in the comments, but I can't recall anything extremely notable from this fusion. So the Kaya fusion was Nin plus Kaya. After the history of their ex came out, plus their ex friendship, breaking the silence on how they were treated during DissociaDID during their friendships, Kiwi Farms, saga, etc., Nin took a hiatus. Note that Kyle had always been a fan favorite and remained fairly innocent when it came to controversy. When they came back, we had Kaya. Kaya spoke of the Sergio situation, which, when coupled with the huge break, many people had forgotten. They defended a PED0, and all the other stuff things they did. That plus braided interviews that is still on their channel allows them to be the victim of everything, even situations where they were at fault. Okay, so then Seer and I can't pronounce that. Wrath, previously Nadia. Not a fusion, but I want to make note of Nadia's split. Amongst the Kiwi Farms pages and other platforms, instances of DissociaDID's racism was being highlighted. Them tokenizing axolotls, racism, and sexualization of their alter Nadia, silencing BIPOC during the Black Lives Matter movement. There was no genuine apology for race claiming with Nadia. Nadia split into Seer and Wrath, however, did lead to empathy and support from DissociaDID's followers. Yeah, I remember that. They were like, Nadia just got so much hate for being who she was that we had to freaking, they didn't exist anymore, and then they became Seer and all of that fun stuff. Mara! Narwhals are the real unicorn. There's a unicorn one now? Star, keep up. No, the unicorn is an older alter. I've always wanted to be a unicorn. Hey guys, this is my unicorn alter. Hi, I'm happy to be talking to unicorn alter. Does that mean there's a video of... Okay, I'm pretty sure that it is a unicorn altar, but I could be wrong on this, you guys. No, there is no video of DissociaDID dressed up as a unicorn. Eva says, the odd thing is the viewing of my trauma is not what hurts the worst. It's the somatic body symptoms of the trauma I feel again. The pain is unbearable at times, my own experience. Right, like, that's a great point in the way that, like, more recently, DissociaDID has been talking about, like, flashbacks and stuff, but really, at the heart of it, DID consists of what, okay, I'm going to sound so uneducated here, but CPTSD or PTSD, which on its own is incredibly complex and difficult to live with. So it's not, like, even living with DID, it's like, it's not just fun and alters and stuff like that. I don't know. But now I'm kind of thinking about it, and I'm like, so if DissociaDID is not faking it allegedly, then isn't it a little bit convenient that they do indeed have these alters who are all willing to record and each of these alters as a separate entity are willing to glamorize themselves. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know what's going on inside. But anyways, I remembered the mermaid one. I do too. Well, that was a fun time. Michelle, has DissociaDID ever shown any records of physical issues? She goes on about them with no proof. Most, if not all, huge medical history of reconstructive surgeries, fibro, hypertension, IBS, etc. I don't know. I don't believe so. I mean, if they have, it was brief. And when DissociaDID came back, they promote some sort of charity event to do some sort of community draw away attention from them personally and test the waters about how their audience will react. Hi, Sheeps. Thank you so much for being here. You're absolutely fine. Someone else said, exactly, Eva. It is unbearable sometimes to deal with the comorbid and somatic symptoms. Sometimes I can't get out of bed just because of fear. I mean, obviously you don't have to share everything about your personal life on the internet. Like, DissociaDID is very much in the right to not want to share those kind of things. But at the same time, pushing those things aside and then glamorizing all of these other parts, I don't know. But yeah. Mara, at this point, there was no overtly sexual alter anymore. It had been Nina, then Nin, but not Kaya, and Kaya was asexual. At this time, we were introduced to a new alter, Mara. Mara is feisty and becomes problematic for being overtly flirtatious in comments with the fans, inclusive of BDSM themes on her unrestricted TikTok account, whereby children are interacting in pet play commentary with them. As time goes on, both Mara and Kaya are being exposed for this kind of conduct. Kaya believes it should be up to minors to not engage with their TikTok content rather than age restricting their sexual videos. Yes. I mean, I can wrap my head around that, because if you do age restrict your videos, you'll get less views. But at the same time, it's like there is a very moral thing about restricting videos if they should be restricted. According to DissociaDID, in 2023, Mara and Kaya started fusing. This is supposedly why Kaya was acting awful. Examples found here, and here. So let's just click on it real quick.
Some of you will be familiar already with Friends by Taddy or anything like using her personal accounts that are also...
No, this isn't it. Maybe it's this one.
Updated information for...
No, it's not this one.
To try and get better.
Okay, maybe it's this one.
Like your little hate account is? Well done for publicly outing yourself. Good thing that the report button isn't useless, eh? Like your little hate account is?
Anyways, there was one video where they were making fun of someone's disability, allegedly. And then there's these comments where they're just, people are commenting and, well, but you have to understand that it was Ruby who commented this, so it is valid, you guys. Come on. Anyways, so after another hiatus, we have Soran. Soran has a twin. My personal thoughts, the twin probably has a bad personality and will be the next scapegoat. She always acts similar to Mara. She probably acts similar to Mara. Edit. Mara was, in my opinion, the most in line with what DissociaDID's true personality is. Really? Because... Anyways, Soran is the new rebrand of what Kaya was supposed to be before they forgot to act like a nice person. I forgot where this was located, but someone on the Reddit was talking about how in DissociaDID's new video, they talk about how this Soran might have a accent that kind of changes and fluctuates because like multiple alters might be Kokon and they're like, I don't know, stuff like that. And people were saying like, wow, they really thought ahead on this because where is it? We haven't read these comments yet. Because, you know, people have talked about in the past about how certain alters would like have an accent, and like Kyle, for example, would switch in and out of the Essex accent. So this person says, quote, this fusion was happening and that's why we were acting so... Jeez. You scared me half to death for no reason. I gotta calm down. My cat. Hey! She's wildin', y'all. Anyways. She just went in here and then left, so sorry. We don't get a kitty break yet. Bro is threatening to dox someone that's already vulnerable enough to be in a psych ward. Bro, threatening to dox someone that's already vulnerable enough to be in a psych ward isn't aggressive. It's borderline illegal. Allegedly, I don't know, I'm not a legal expert. Aggressive is me calling you a lying POS and a faker. Not me threatening to dox you and sending a parade of random people to send death threats and abuse threats. Yeah, I mean, I've talked about this so many times, but if you are an influencer, you have a response. It's a moral, unspoken influencer role that you don't tell your audience to go after somebody. Like, I guess I should probably say it more like, obviously, do not go after DissociaDID and you know what I mean? Because honestly, as you can see, I can't see how that would be helpful, but also having a mass amount of people, even if you believe what that person did was wrong, having a mass amount of people going after a person, especially if they have a smaller audience than you or no audience, it is horrific. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, people were commenting that her voice/accent kept slipping. So to cover it up, she's saying multiple will be near the front, which is why their accents might change. Jesus, Chloe, it's giving BTEC drama the best. At best. Okay. So they started... Yeah, that's true. So it started out as Chloe on YouTube. I wonder if there was any split/fusions before they made their channel. I'm just curious if there was anything like that before they were YouTube famous. It's interesting to me that all these host changes happened during their tenure on YouTube. I know YouTube and putting yourself out there is stressful, but I find it interesting that they come back and it's triggering for them. I tend to dissociate when I experience heavy stress and trauma, but I don't have DID, just CPTSD. It doesn't make sense to me why you'd subject yourself to something that heavily triggers you. I've been going through CBT therapy for 2-ish years, and I am able to cope in a triggered environment. DissociaDID saying they're having seizures and more switching is concerning. Again, I'm very neutral about their system, but I am questioning why they would expose themselves to triggers and allow themselves to fuse/split the way they do. Anyways, let's go over maybe these comments and then we'll move on. I'm a diagnosed system. She was the reason someone in my comment section said, I'm a diagnosed system. She was the reason I denied the diagnosis could be true because of what I saw when I took to YouTube to learn about my diagnosis. Personally, she has negatively me. Thank you for sharing that. I've heard that a lot in the way that, like, I've heard someone say, I don't want to tell people that I have DID because they're going to look it up on the internet and find, like, DissociaDID and think that I'm like that. Not just DissociaDID, you know what I mean? It's, you know, the way that DID is portrayed online, but anyways. Okay, this person says after watching, you know, the new video, they said, called it, I'm 2 minutes in and already spotted a lie. If this version of the crime is true, no way in hell the dude got, why can't I pronounce the things? Remanded. Not a chance. My theory is a stranger/fan turned up at their door. DissociaDID called the cops. Cops told them to go home. This is where the truth ends. DissociaDID then decides to use this as a new trauma to get more victim attention and more protective audience and do their usual rebrand. There is no case. Speaking as someone who's unfortunately been very intimate with stalking laws and their lack thereof in the UK, but DissociaDID decided to take an unpleasant situation and make it into another woe is me storyline in the DissociaDID cinematic universe. My only comment on that is, like, even if this did happen, like the way that this person is saying, it is still horrific and can be, in my opinion, traumatic to just have someone show up at your door, especially depending on their, you know, mindset and their intentions. I don't know. This person says, integrating with a persecutor, I'd love to hear from any systems as much as you're able without giving DissociaDID too much info if this fusion story makes sense. Being mid-fusion, when a bad event happens, screwing with it somehow, I'm seriously feeling like they don't bother to research anymore and straight up just make it up. Oh god, fusion twins, WTF, this is not TV DissociaDID FML. So this person said, and this is obviously just opinions, I don't know, if you guys disagree, let me know. From my personal understanding, her fusion history makes no sense. I don't believe their pronouns are her. I try to say they when I can, just out of respect, but sometimes I'll just read anyways. I haven't experienced a fusion that I'm aware of, but it's basically parts of the brain healing neural pathways in between, lowering amnesia, coming together. Based on this logic, what would happen if, quote, event interrupts process, unquote, the amnesic barrier would go back up, right? The two brain parts coming together haven't fully healed the pathway or other damage happened to it. Therefore, they will redistance, same alters, though. I don't see how the brain can delete two parts as they are and replace them with two others. Technically, they're still holding the same trauma to access the brain, so how they change like this is weird. Splitting and fusing takes a lot of resources on the brain, and I find it hard to believe this intelligent organ would do something so useless for itself. It's easier to put up barriers. Heck, it's what it's used to already and defaults to anyway. I mean, this was very well written. I appreciate this. So this person says, I'm not going into any personal anecdotes, but I will explain fusions in layman's terms. I think of alters as nodes or circles. Each circle is a different alter, and the same size of the circle determines how formed they are. For instance, in larger symptoms, there may be more small dots than a proper circle, while in smaller systems, there may be more circles. Integration is when these circles talk to each other or share information. Say if there was a dotted line between two circles, that there would be an integration. They can't connect or fuse. but they do have the capacity to share memories or skills. Fusion is drawing a line between two circles. The process of fusion would be connecting the dots in two integrated parts. At that point, the two circles are completely connected with a line. That's where fusion is completed. Now, if a trauma happens and stops the line from being completed, there is no fusion. This is where things get a little muddy. There are 3 options for what can happen, and it depends entirely on the brain's reaction to the trauma and what the trauma is like. Like if it's a new part is already equipped to handle it. Option 1, that the 2 parts stay integrated but they don't fuse at all. Option 2 is that the 2 parts revert back entirely to separate parts. Think of erasing the lines between the circle. Option 3 is that not only does option 2 happen, but one or both circles split off into a new circle, adding an alter. What won't happen is the line finishes being drawn and one/both of the circles split into a new part. It is possible for a newly fused alter part to split if a trauma happens right after a fusion is finalized, but if a trauma happens while a fusion is happening, the fusion won't finish, especially if one or both of alters fusing involve that trauma in some way. I hope that made sense. Soran uses he, him now. Okay. I respect. If some stalker, Eva said, if some stalker came to me or hurt me, I wouldn't hide it at all. I'd show his picture and his name to a point and expose everything I could legally. No one who is an abuser should be hidden. That is fair. Peggy says, so I guess she doesn't do autographs, lol. Maybe it was someone she met at a nightclub. Yeah. Anyways, I like the way this person explained it, though, as in, like, the brain creates DID, you develop DID for a very specific reason. It's not, and the psychology of why an alter might split or fuse, this person is basically saying, in my opinion, I could be wrong, is like, why would the brain do something for no reason? Just delete alter, make new fun alter. You know what I mean? I don't know, though. The brain is very complex. I'm not a professional. This person says, I think DissociaDID is keeping the twin secret, so the fans have to go on Patreon and request a video of the unnamed twin sister. Such a marketing genius. This person says, I'm loving how this was predicted 6 months ago. Mara was no longer a controversial figure. They wanted her to be Kaya. They wanted her to be, and Kaya was becoming aggressive on camera, so they mixed the two together. Wouldn't surprise me if they keep the asexual thing going just to yell at the parasocial people that call them hot in the comments. Okay, that was unnecessary for me to read aloud, but anyways. Well, at least she's looking grown up now. I still wonder how she got the ability to easily identify who is speaking or lurking or influencing. In my experience, this is the hard work done in therapy that takes a lot of effort and time. Yeah, that's what someone else was saying, was like, I don't know. Obviously, I don't have DID. I've never been through a fusion, but the way DissociaDID describes things in general and communication with their system, like, they know exactly what is going on. They know the whole storyline. In my opinion, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like, amnesia though? Amnesia who? Is she in the room with us? Okay, sorry, I had to, oh my goodness, hello, Australia. Way behind, but here. No worries. Literally, thank you so much for being here. Wait, what is this? So, the DissociaDID Reddit 6 months ago made a poll. Who do you think Kaya fused with? And the most common answer on Reddit was a prominent post 2020 member, Marie Mara R, Chem, Sear, etc. Excuse me. And that was the one that, so yeah, I mean, people are saying, like, it's not, you don't have to be a genius to be able, or a psychic to be able to predict these things because it happened twice. Yeah. Should we move on? Are you guys, like, sick of this? Okay. This person says, this just pisses me off. In the real disorder, all this constant splitting and merging based on liking each other simply does not happen. New alters appear only when there is a big trauma that kind of leads to a hospitalization. I don't know if it's like that in every case, but anyways, 2. When something happens in life and nobody can do the task. Like needing to hold down a job, a parent, and a child, etc. Or 3, they've already existed and started to feel safe enough to become known. Alters fuse when they evolve to become more like each other, start sharing neural pathways as dissociative barriers decrease. Not because they have crushes on each other and not much of a choice as evolution. Gak, I hate the misinformation. Fair. Okay, let's move on. So, what is this? Yeah, this was before DissociaDID uploaded their new video. But basically, they uploaded to TikTok, right? As one does. And, they did this makeup thing, right? I'm so ridiculous. And then, you know, they had a flashback. I don't believe it was, like, caught on camera, so don't worry about that, but first of all, I don't know the purpose of saying that they had a flashback. It's kind of like if I was like to you guys, hey, you guys, last week I was really sick. It was really hard for me. Feel bad for me. Excuse me. Did I feel bad for me? No, it's like, you know what? I don't know. Maybe I'm just being mean. That was bad.
Rubble the buildings, the mothers and...
Oops. Okay. So, just very... Oh my god, I do not understand how makeup works, you guys. I've tried to do eyeshadow and literally it's impossible. I give up. Like, what? Like, oh my god. Anyways.
Filmed the video. Had a flashback in the middle of it.
That's so funny.
Boy. Filmed the video.
That's so quirky. I can't be bought, tough person face, but for $30 a month, you can view exclusive footage of the flashback I just had. Okay. Hello, Monochrome Fragmented. Thank you so much for being here, and no worries. Yeah, why are they laughing about having a flashback, too? I don't know. I mean, I just don't understand the purpose. So this person said they're already being triggered by filming YouTube videos again. If they are having flashbacks while filming YouTube videos, they need to go back on hiatus for their own mental health. If it's not a lie. Yeah, like to play devil's advocate that they do have it, you know what I mean? What am I saying? It does line up with the story that this person shared, but at the same, also happy full moon tonight, you guys. But anyways, what I'm trying to, I was looking at Michelle. Anyways, if they do have DID, it lines up with what this person who posted this whole paragraph on Reddit about their experience being friends with DissociaDID. But if they don't have DID, allegedly, it's obvious that they're just keeping up with a fabrication. Yeah. Full moon tonight. Nice. Yeah, not me mid-sentence. Anyways. What kind of flashback would leave their makeup untouched? Pretty sure flashbacks are reliving a trauma memory in a present way. I mean, all I can say is, like, from not my experience, but from what I've seen of flashbacks, You know, it includes, like, with Eva, talking about nosebleeds. Not everyone, obviously, will experience that. But, you know, it could involve crying, shaking. I can't even just, like, things that I don't want to talk about because they might trigger you. But I don't know, mini flashback, all right? You guys, why we gotta be so disrespectful? Okay. I actually want to challenge you here. I have DID and we used to get flashbacks regularly, thank you therapy, but they weren't always something that caused a physical reaction for us, i.e. crying, rubbing face, etc. Flashbacks have different intensities that can be reacted to in different ways. Okay, I'm glad that I read that because now we know. Yeah, I can't imagine having a flashback and then immediately filming about it. It feels dystopian. Maybe I should start laughing after a flashback. I'm obviously doing DID wrong. This whole time, you've been doing it wrong. Makeup perfect and untouched. Messes up hair a little bit. Oh my god, you guys, okay. Anyways. People are talking about their new look and, like, listen. I don't know. I mean, is this weird to talk about? I'm telling you guys that look in the archives. DissociaDID has said that they have BPD before. And, you know, not even if you don't have BPD, some people might have a tendency to change their style. Weren't they talking about it something because, like, of what, anyways, hopefully we find it because I don't want to say anything out of term. Because it's not a BPD thing. It's just a thing that I'm just digging myself a further hole. And this person goes out on a limb here and says that they're following TikTok trends to try to appeal to younger impressionable teens who won't know any better than to listen to them. Ooh, Social Blade. What's going on here? Estimated monthly earnings. I'm trying to think of what my Social Blade says and how correct it is. So let's assume, I mean, what is 677 times 677 times 12? They're definitely not making only $8,124 a year because, listen, they're making, anyways, didn't they, like, buy a house, not rent a house, but buy a house, and, like, a big house with, multiple rooms and stuff, so I think maybe that's what this person was saying, about how DissociaDID only makes enough to really just survive, or DissociaDID was just kind of playing it down, which could be thing, but allegedly, and we're talking about income now, which is kind of sus. So, anyways, more people talking about the new video. Wow, okay, LMAO. Who had Mara/Kaya fusion on their bingo card? Because I know some of you absolutely called it. Geez. The only thing I can say about them is their aesthetic is really nice. Makeup, hair, and clothes channel branding/style. Seriously, they could have done so much for themselves for giving up the grift and making a career out of these skills. Sadly, the window has long passed. Yeah. So this is a rundown of the video. New host Soran uses he/him pronouns, still having seizures. There will be more switches and voice inconsistencies in YouTube videos because filming is a PTS trigger now, so all the alters have to work together and become more co-con more often to support whoever is filming, which will have an effect on their voice mannerisms depending on who is close to front. Stalker is in prison awaiting trial. Court case with Sergio is still ongoing. Q asking for donations and Patreon ad. Cool. And also, I love how in the thumbnail, like, casually, they name the video, like, just, like, they're very much, what's the word? Milking, DID. Like, you can see it in the title, in the description, in the, thumbnail, you know what I mean? It's like, when in reality, how much does this, I mean, obviously this is a person with DID, but what you're talking about isn't educational towards DID. Anyways, I don't know, you guys, I don't really want to do this.
A video out.
That's dope. How did you do that?
Hello everybody, welcome back to another video by DissociaDID. Given our past and our history, which we're not going into, but unfortunately the idea, circumstance, we were in denial about it, and
okay, but they makeup is dope. Because listen, that's it.
Wanted to pretend that it wasn't. Why are your URLs or your socials still Kaya & Co? That includes our Patreon, it includes our personal TikTok. Those are still at the URL Kaya & Co. Why are we not changing it to Soran & Co? Because of the criminal case, which is still ongoing. We're hoping it will be over and sorted by the end of this year. The individual, the usernames or the URL.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get copyrighted. But yeah, I mean, basically they just talk about like stuff that's upcoming, with no real need to tag it with DID other than from attention. I wonder if they'll make Soran's mental health niche anti-bullying or effective communication to make up for them bullying their followers, or if this "we're confrontational because we're fusing" will be their only acknowledgement and they won't pay further attention to remedy the situation. They spent half the video asking for money. Half the video was spent promoting Patreon from the crowd justice thing. Yeah, and in that way, it's like, why don't they title the video, "Please Donate"? Why do they title it DID? It's crazy how they blamed being confrontational and feisty. Which part of the video is that? Damn it! Which part? Come on.
So every time we would try to interact with our audience, check comments, even look at numbers, let alone film a video from another country, connected to our DissociaDID project, is a private. Mid-fusion, when we experienced and they split, we continued to fuse and they ended up being sorted, but essentially into public videos.
Whatever.
What happened to DissociaDID that goes over what this man did to us and how they tried to destroy the playlist of, you know, videos you want to see. You want to suggest, hey, Soran, DissociaDID, Mike, everybody, listen up, I want to see a video on this.
Alright, sorry, I can't find it. But I was trying to find the part where they blamed being confrontational and feisty, aka bullying and doxing people on TikTok, on them fusing. In what universe would that even correlate? Christ, this is really getting rid of problematic alters, so people will hopefully forget their behavior. Saying that someone was becoming more aggressive and bullying people because they were fusing, but that was healing, is such BS. They just unintentionally showed the world their ugly personality and are trying to backtrack. This person said, I find it weird how they fused and then that fusion kind of split, kind of. If I'm understanding this correctly, especially since the fusion happened in a time where they were unstable. Yeah. Okay, what else do we have today? I mean, I don't know. Someone's talking about the plausibility of DissociaDID's claims against Stalker. We got Patreon, and people are being super sussed out about putting a paywall on, you know, a fragmented, traumatized part being paid for, and like the name of the tiers are that alter and stuff. I don't know, like Little Love and stuff, but anyways. And then this person saying that y'all were right all along. And then also there is this TikTok fan account announced into baiting DissociaDID into changing hosts to prove that they are faking. And I don't really understand this part, but basically I think this fan account like posted here. I don't understand. Like they kind of posted things baiting at what DissociaDID might change their alter my brain is struggling. Am I making any sense at the moment? Because in this, they don't really have any proof for that. Like, I don't know. And this might be like proof of dissociated stealing and copying alters / symptoms and disorders from other people. Number 1, they stole seizures from Bobo and Co. Proof, the first time mentioning seizures from dissociated was right after Bobo and Co. talked about it. Anyone have the video? And then we got them talking about seizures and pretending to be catatonic on camera. 2, they originally went by the Dissociated system. After having a falling out with Bobo and Co., they changed their name to Nin and Co. Bobo and Co. were one of the first systems online and to call themselves and Co. until Nina and Co. and Kaya and Co. popularized it, and now it's like a super popular thing. Number 3, they made up a story about them having a new host in 2023 on TikTok. Then Dissociated took that story and ran with it, even though it was a proven lie. This proves Dissociated copies anything. What you on about? Oh, yeah. Okay. So number 4, stole alters and parts from their inner world from a book called The Illuminati Formula to create an undetectable, total mind-controlled slave by this person, which we can see here. And I read this book. I had it on read aloud, but I could always, I guess, go back and read it again because it was very fascinating, although I will say triggering, and I'm not saying that terrible things like what's going on in this book could happen. I'm just saying that I believe in this book they kind of even talk about like aliens and stuff and like stuff that I don't know. But then they did have, you see, it's like saying all these types of alters that you can create, which I know this is a horrible thing to think about, so like trigger warning, but I hate this because like this might be upsetting for some people, but it's like, could you potentially traumatize a person to a point where you get the exact alter, like The Sims, that you want? Is that a possibility? Anyways, it's basically programming. What do we got? We could literally just make an entire video about this, TBH. Oh yeah, here we are. So we talk about the carousel. This is programming someone into dissociation. An internal carousel is built into an internal system. Mirrors and shadows are placed around and perhaps in it. The carousel spins and moves up and down repeatedly. In the center of the carousel, the programmers often place something or someone important. They will put this at the bottom of the DNA. Wait. The carousel's bottom side will set on top of the system switching mechanism. Wow, I'm confused. And then, there's a cave. What else we got here? I might just do this on my own. I don't know if you guys are bored by this, but yeah, we can move on. I just find this interesting. So anyways, number 4, oh, and then there's proof of this. Oh no, that's just this again. Okay, wait, or is it? Yeah, no. Proof of them detailing exactly what they stole from the book, and then, oh, we don't need to go through. Someone already did it, so I don't have to. Someone went through and said all of the things that DissociaDID allegedly stole from the book. Sorry, I haven't been reading comments. Flashbacks take me out of the day, sometimes several days. Seizures, nosebleeds, fainting, or emotional flashbacks leave me drained. Thank you for sharing. Flashback is very hard. Your whole body relives traumatic events. She's back, y'all. Will you at least come by your phone? Will you at least come by your phone? Okay, just please, just lay on my lap. Please, please, please. Good girl. Oh, yes, she lay. I can't imagine putting my phone to my face after having a flashback and then being perfectly fine and laughing. That's very fair, I feel. So, I mean, we can literally make an entire video about this. Anyways, wait, more proof of them. Just one more. And then there's even more proof here. But this person says something very interesting about, so DissociaDID is claiming that I'm thinking like that the things in this book happened to them and that's how they developed DID. But this person says Omega is an alter whose whole story doesn't add up anyway, as she claims to be an alter created while at uni and heavily implying, I don't know what this word is, but H***ing. But at her uni, her unalive attempt was in a lake. So yeah, it's like Omega was created after. Anyways. So number 5, Mara the Alter was stolen from a popular TikTok creator who had an OC named Mara. I mean, is it possible to develop a fictive from an OC? I don't know that it's impossible, but at the same time, the reason why I believe, I'm not an expert or have DID by any means. However, why someone develops a fictive is because, like, maybe while going through a traumatic event, they can relate to this character, or maybe this character has something that they want within themselves so badly. I'm probably like messing up on this, but the thing about the Mara fictive is that there wasn't much backstory to this Mara. It was just an OC. So anyways. Number 6, stole someone's alter story. Proof that a person comes forward to tell their side of things. Yeah, and then there's all of these ones that have people coming forward saying, like, listen. Something else that really bugged me after she asked me for my trauma story in a Facebook group is that it takes years to get to know your headmates and get internal communication going. Diaries are a great start, but don't get DX and diagnosed and suddenly everyone starts talking to you and your DID becomes more overt, especially since DissociaDID kept implying that her family was where the abuse happened, allegedly. A lot of things don't add up, and the misinformation just downright is insulting for those of us who have been fighting to actually destigmatize DID. Okay, wait. I am one system. They asked inappropriate questions and used our inner world. Without revealing personal information about me and my system, we can't prove anything. She did delete almost everything as soon as she asked, and I am no longer in the Facebook group or have any access to it, so the inbox messages are long gone. We have presented what happened to us. We aren't trying to persuade others. But anyways, basically, if you don't know, before DissociaDID started their YouTube channel, apparently they were in these Facebook groups online about DID, allegedly, and like they would slide into people's DMs and like ask personal questions, and then like a few months later they started a YouTube channel with alters and inner worlds that are the same as these people she was asking questions from, and a few people actually came out about it. I don't know. We are one of those people, and it's not just our inner world she basically copied, but traits of our alters suddenly became full alters of hers. When we have held back in saying everything because we will only reveal what we deem is relevant to any conversation. They also took certain aspects of our abuse and trafficking information we disclosed in a private group, and suddenly it's became part of her inner world. She was smart in that she waited for a year to make the video, probably thinking that people had forgotten. It's pretty darn hard to forget your own abuse, DissociaDID. So seeing it in a video of hers was soul destroying, literally crushed us, and we commented. Of course, it was deleted. We aren't here to disclose everything that she did to us and our friendship in the same group, as that means we're going into our history. We just want to inform people when certain questions arise. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. What am I on about? Sorry, you guys, I thought nobody was commenting because freaking I had the video paused. So thank you so much for answering these questions, you guys. You can't create alters in children. So, because I was asking earlier, I was like, is it possible to, I know that this is highly disturbing to think about, but is it possible to create a alter, like specifically traumatize a person and so that that alter is exactly the way you want them to be? And this person is saying no. Sorry, you guys, I am ridiculous. And I'm doing it again. I can't pause the live or the comments will pause. Okay. I want to know why putting on makeup for her causes flashbacks. Not that she would actually have a story behind that. If it triggers her, stop doing it, but she can't do that as makeup vids would die. Yes. People aren't like The Sims. That's so fake. Eva says, I'm hoping you do a video sometime if you're up to it on MK Ultra and programming and what it really is. Did you know the APA stated that 80% of those claiming it don't have it or history of it? That's interesting. Yeah, and then if you look at real cult abuse, most, if not all, real survivors have photos and past items of medical history, etc. Not all, but most. That's true. Like, if you don't have proof, that doesn't mean it didn't happen, right? But in DissociaDID's case, like, they don't care to, and I'm not saying that they need to, you know what I mean? I'm just out. Sorry, I'm just like catching up on all your comments. They are probably claiming it because they want to have the worst trauma possible. It's like a competition for them. Yeah, absolutely. Does anyone know if Kaya is claiming to be a programmed RA survivor? Does she have a military background, as most, if not all, do? Oh, wait, that's right. She knew nothing of it till she started asking real sufferers. Yeah, I mean, I think that I don't want to go into like alleged traumas because like if it did happen, that's awful. But you know what I mean? So anyways, I think that's kind of the end of our fun segment of stealing traumas. With the whole thing of stealing traumas from ex-friends thing, doesn't Braided have non-epileptic seizures too? She's definitely talked about them, and I'm pretty sure DissociaDID started talking about them basically right after their friendship, blew up. Yeah, it is interesting, like, even with, like, the mermaid alter, I forget the name of, It's interesting how, like, they never talked about it them before, almost as if it's been written, because they were, like, if you were very open about other alters, like a unicorn alter, why wouldn't you be, so I don't know. And my cat would like some treats now, so now I'm going to give her one, and she's going to annoy me for 20 years because she wants more. Okay. What should we do next? Should we do the plausibility of DissociaDID's claims against Stalker from someone who's lived it, or Patreon, or is it bothering anyone else that DissociaDID is now profiting off system communication, or y'all were right all along? I don't know. This one's pretty long, so maybe we'll do this one. Maybe that one after if I still have like the mental energy. Wait, what's this? There are screenshots posted in the subreddit where DissociaDID does claim SRA. SRA? Okay. All right. I guess we can take a look at that as well. So I had a look at their free version on Patreon. They claimed you could join and their mermaid thing, even with the free membership. That was a lie. It's all paywalled. Even then, there is this post from today, the 22nd of May, 2024. I'd be interested to know what they're ranting on about now. Then this post about their YouTube video acting, let's visualize that. Acting like it's exciting for fans to see them triggered and having a flashback and experiencing severe symptoms of mental illness. What the F? If they actually cared about their mental health, they wouldn't be actively triggering themselves. No therapist would be okay with this behavior. If I believed any of it was true, it'd be Eugenia Cooney levels of self-destruction. So, I don't know. Yeah, behind the scenes footage of them being triggered, no therapist would suggest posting that. I believe that there was like more about that, but I guess not. Okay. Okay, so this person says, y'all were right all along. Hello, everyone. I don't know if you remember me, probably not, LOL. I used to be in this sub pretty much as a viewer of DissociaDID. Not a fan. I won't die on a hill defending them. But let's say I came across your sub after the Team Piñata horrible allegations and started really engaging with it during the time where Kaya made their video about Reddit. I agreed with a lot of what they said on this sub, specifically when it came to how DissociaDID didn't think about their viewers having to watch and process their very triggering unannounced meltdowns, or how they handled the Team Piñata thing. I also didn't like how DissociaDID sent fans to attack smaller creators. However, I was pretty confrontational with users that were, in my opinion, very cruel. A big thing that made my blood boil as a mentally ill person was the accusation that DissociaDID was faking their disorder. Unless I have hardcore facts in front of me, I would never say someone is faking, because I think that's just cruel. And I do agree with that statement, believe it or not, because first of all, you do never know. But I guess the reason that in the past and currently I might fake claim or play devil's advocate that they might not have it is because at this point, you know, they have 1 million subscribers on YouTube. They are doing these, you know what I mean? It's having an effect on the community. Whereas, you know, if you go after someone with 40 followers, they're just most likely to get angry or make them upset if they genuinely do have it. But anyways, But now I look back and watch today's video and I just felt so unsettled. Them having a fusion with Mara was very predictable. Them asking for money was odd, and then the backstory, I don't know, it's just not adding up. It feels like it's just a trauma after trauma and these huge things they're talking about. I know some small incoherences can exist, but it feels like there's a huge gap in their stories, or things are just rewritten, or things that are unbelievable, that straight up true crime stuff, and you're telling me their parents or loved ones never found out. I feel a bit stupid in admitting that I think it's suspicious. Maybe they have DID, maybe they don't. I feel like they're at least heavily exaggerating some traits. Okay. So this person in the comments said, having watched DissociaDID for a long time, pre-Timpinata era, lol, it's taken a very long time to come to terms with the kind of person they've turned into, or maybe they've always been, and it's becoming more apparent either way. I wish they had stuck to creating informative and educational content or makeup videos instead of what they're making now. Fair. It was posted 6 hours ago. Yeah, Eva, I was thinking maybe we can do that on a separate live. You know what? Fuck it. Yeah, so Ablaze made a freaking video about DissociaDID. Oh, why did he change the thumbnail?
When is my
Fun. I respect the grind, Ablaze. I respect.
That no one wants to talk about. Now, before I get into this, I know fully well that people are already writing in the comments saying I've had a bad take on this and I don't know anything about it, but all I can ask is that you at least watch the video before coming to your own conclusion and making up your mind. DissociaDID, one of the leading content creators focusing on the dissociative identity disorder.
Oh my god. No. It's recommended.
And according to her YouTube channel, every single one of her videos is dedicated to bravely challenging against the stigma surrounding trauma-based mental illness. Although people that actually suffer with the diagnosis probably wouldn't agree with that statement. And well, let's put her valiant mission and vision core values thingy to the test, shall we? While we've been debunking fake DID cases and supposed advocates for some time now, I've got to admit, dissociative is a whole different ballgame altogether. And not a website. Cool. I don't think I've ever messed with someone before that has had
I'm just trying to, there are some very good parts.
their own personal website. This truly is dangerous territory. So please leave a like for my bravery. And unlike those recent DID fakers we've had the pleasure of exposing before, who churn out cringeworthy TikToks for clout and maybe a couple of bucks, dissociative means business. She presents herself as a very noble advocate on her channel. But is she? Sure, her platforms paint a pretty picture with all the right words, but peel back the layers and what do you find? Just a smorgasbord of shady acts that don't quite align with her preachings. Like lying to set up fundraisers, throwing sexual innuendos towards underage followers on an 18+ account, pretending to be a mental health professor, and demeaning other doctors.
Peggy, are you talking about, sorry, no, I'm a skeptic and this just feels like more bait? Or, it was posted 6 hours ago?
With decades of experience harassing those who call her out, and the list goes on. Which, don't worry, we'll get systems or individuals with DID who appeared on Anthony Padilla's channel in 2020, which has amassed 23 million views now.
Yeah, if you didn't know, this video with DissociaDID is Anthony Padilla's #1 viewed video.
And her face actually is presented on that thumbnail, boasting about 22+ alters. So yeah, naturally every soul who clicked on that video instantly became
And that's how I found DissociaDID, TBH.
expert on her. And her alters are particularly famous now as well. Lucky for her. Surprisingly, not many are criticizing her, and probably one reason is that she was present even before faking DID became popular, and whenever people call her out for her behavior, she's known for quickly cleaning up everything, like hitting the delete button on comments across social media platforms, making it seem like she's untouchable. But the thing is, behind the scenes, there's a whole army sounding off on Reddit. For example, people whom she stole alters from, and that's just one of many issues that don't come up on her main platform, YouTube, because it tells a different story.
I'm kind of just giving you guys a preview, like obviously go watch his video, I'll put it in the description.
Dissociative swiftly shuts down any opposition. So, Dissociated started her YouTube channel back in 2000.
Yeah, Peggy, I'm sorry everyone, I went over this video, and this post, and I was kind of confused about it. So now with the context, maybe I can go over it.
2018, not just as a channel or a brand, but as the name of their system. Google says her legal name is Chloe Wilkinson. She also claims to have around 25 alters, including, and get ready for, Chloe, Kyle, Nadia, Sally, Ruby, Nina, Gregor. So many names, it's almost like an entire class roster. So let's just stick to calling her DD for short, because we wouldn't want to use the name of a wrong alter in this video. And just to clarify, I'm definitely not here to play doctor or make any wild assumptions about her. Just to be clear, I won't be making any claims about DD and let you have the honor of figuring this one out. So I want to start with some red flags in her DID story that many have actually noticed. Some evidence suggests she self-diagnosed and looked up symptoms before getting an official diagnosis. For example, she mentions being introduced to DID by a therapist in late 2014.
I mean, I'm sure where Ablaze is getting this information is correct. So at the same time, didn't DissociaDID also say that they learned about DID from like a TV show or something? So,
or early 2015. She claims this therapist suggests she might have DID, but later she says the same therapist in Colchester knew nothing about DID until she brought it up herself. So who
but then in another video, didn't she say that it was suggested to them? I don't know.
really put the idea in her head?
Oh, nothing works on
Respect
this
the grind,
acne.
respect the grind.
Hi! Who? I'm a licensed dermatology provider.
Yes, you guessed it. It's her. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, in the same video, she conveniently remembers seeing this therapist before leaving university, contradicting her whole diagnosis after expulsion tale. This article talks about a fundraiser she started to pay for her treatment. Mind you guys, she was asking for £3,000.
Yeah, I mean, all of this stuff goes back so far that it's hard to keep up with everything. But allegedly, they did make a GoFundMe page for their diagnosis that they had, I think, with Remy.
Portraying as a student on a break, conveniently omitting any mention of expulsion. I guess she just decided to take a mental health hiatus, all on her own. Oh, and in another fundraiser, she raised £1,000, even though in all of her other videos posted before about getting treatment and even getting that cash, she somehow never managed to make it back to school. Classic. Her story of events doesn't really match up, even her account of her diagnosis. She mentioned before that Remy Acrimon from Pottergate Centre diagnosed her, but as I just explained, a random doctor brought up the possibility of DID to her. But then she stated that she independently learned about DID and discussed it with her own therapist. Well, isn't that just peachy? We're all just left scratching our heads here, unsure of what to buy into at this point. Anyway, whether she's diagnosed her...
I don't want to pause it because it's like, I know he's about to say something really profound, but then I'm like, I don't want to just watch this whole video. Like, I want you guys to check it out. In another video, she says she In another video, she said she she saw a show about DID and found it really interesting that how she learned about it.
Self or not, using her condition to get money for school when offers serious advice about out her version, as she claims it on her page. I'll just read one out because highly by each one of us. And just because you might have something certainly does not make you an expert in any means. Like I've stated countless times at this point, yes, I have a head twitch. That does not now make me an expert in Tourette's. And here she is saying she's not a mental health doctor, but jumping into these deep topics nonetheless. And I'm sorry guys, but I'm not buying into her shit at all. And keep in mind, she never completed college, which means she doesn't hold a considering she shares more than a seasoned doctor. Oh, and she also tends to over-exaggerate overt displays of DID for views and using her switches as clickbait. But on the flip side, there are instances
I'm still on that, y'all, is like in the way that each alter can be very different, have different desires, wants, needs, personalities. It is interesting how all of them do have the same want. I mean, I guess not all of them because maybe not all of them are online, but to be online and want to exaggerate, glamorize.
Instances where she appears inconsistent, like in this TikTok video where she shows her different alters, but they all have the same look and hairstyle. When in others,
oh yeah, them just like acting out conversations with their alters.
She looks entirely different for those alters. It's really starting to frustrate me because she also labels her channel as a mental health education platform, yet her research seems as shallow as a quick Google search. You can see mentioned
so now he's talking about stealing alters.
Stealing alters.
And then we'll quit because I'm sorry, Ablaze.
And shutting down anyone that calls her out. What's that about? It seems like the issues with her just keep piling up, with plenty of proof on Reddit of people she's shut down after copying their alters. Here is just a few examples. It's just really sad and infuriating to see that trauma survivors don't seem to matter unless they are connected to DD. She just casually asks people on Facebook for her next alters, which is absolutely disgusting and concerning, considering
in England, she could have just been patient and gone to the NHS, so she was obviously desperate to get the diagnosis quickly. Was it a way to make money from it? Well, my cat can only have 10 treats a day, and now she thinks that I hate her because I won't give her more than 10. I want to know how all alternative states have amnesia, but yet are able to educate on DID at this for over 10 years, and I have 3 not knowing what DID is. Eva, that is very peculiar that you would bring that up, because I never even thought about that. I mean, I guess you could argue that each has a different understanding to it and to a different extent.
Everything she preaches on you.
But yeah, I mean, people in the past have talked about how like alters are sometimes not even aware at the beginning stages. They're not even aware that they are an alter, like
YouTube. And when people try to call her out on it, she just quickly blocks them and tries to hide any traces. And by the way, guys, I've come to expect that some of her supporters might come after me for speaking out in this video, claiming the evidence
respect
is fake because the survivor's identity isn't disclosed. But seriously, don't survivors usually prefer to stay anonymous to avoid? This account is also undeniably sexual and sensual in nature. As Mara, she shares videos that involve suggestive actions such as humping the air and discusses hypersexuality. God, feeling totally queasy right now. Our all-around mental health guru is pulling this kind of crap? Really? And despite stating that her content...
I'm sorry about the flash. I did not know that. Yeah.
is not suitable for those under 18. Well, don't be surprised because she seems to be targeting minors in this, which is extremely concerning. She also objectifies teens and inappropriately sexualizes children's songs as well. But of course, she's got to reason and defend herself from her
Yeah, that's a minor.
haters. So she goes on to the claim, we use TikTok for fun, not for work. Oh, seriously? There's still a hint of aspiration for professionalism? Well, good luck with that. Let's just hope her potential clients don't stumble upon this video.
Okay, sorry. Ablaze. I will recommend checking out his video. The link will be in the description. And I think that he did a very good job on it, but I'm not going to watch the whole thing so that you guys will be compelled what else is on there. Alright, so what else do we have? The plausibility of DissociaDID's claims against Stalker from someone who's lived it. Trigger warning for domestic abuse, fear, threats to life, lunch... No. It's okay. Okay. That is my chair squeaking. So, light mention of child abuse. Someone asked in another comment for me to explain the system in the UK with regards to stalking / harassment as from personal experience with it, so here is my attempt. Okay, so for context, my situation was a few years ago now, but certain aspects of the system I know for a fact are still the same and others might be slightly different now, but not so much as to make DissociaDID's story even close to plausibly true. Really? The most clear description from DissociaDID about what happened was this latest YouTube video introducing Soran. They claimed that someone showed up at their door. So to start, if this person came from out of the country, it's not stalking? I'm not a legal professional, y'all. I can't say whether that's true or not. It might be harassment if they have been bothering DissociaDID a lot prior to their property, but a very quick internet search will tell you just how hard it is to get a harassment case tried in the UK. In my case, it took a year of numerous police reports, threats from him, fear for my life, having to move multiple times, him standing outside my door, calling my workplace, etc., just to try to ruin my life. And it took a year before they would arrest him. I was sure he would unalive me before they did anything. And if you look it up, you will see the same words over and over and over. I mean, maybe because DissociaDID is a celebrity, that's probably not related. So based on what I've said, I don't have anywhere near enough to get arrest on harassment or stalking. If this person turned up to their door at random, I highly doubt they would just open the door for them, and they've been very careful about wording. They've implied SA, they have, but made no actual claims that could be constructed as SA of any kind, even despite the clear embellishing. So there's a high likelihood that they did not open the door. Instead, they just called the police. Yeah, that's fair, because if like a random person showed up to your door, it would be like, no, like wrong house. There's a chance he maybe got arrested for attempting breaking and entering, but again, unlikely unless he was blatantly attempting to force his way through the door, which they would have used. What could happen next? Nothing. My ex didn't get reprimanded, and I feared for my life with legitimate reason. And he had multiple arrests previously for violent acts and domestic violence against his ex before me. One instance of harassment likely wouldn't get you arrested, never mind reprimanded. I speak from experience. Crown Court is a joke, lol. I don't know why they felt the need to add it in. Only the most extreme cases make it to Crown Court. Mine was tried in magistrates, and then again, showing up at someone else's door once is something the CPS will is not something the CPS will touch with a barge pole, even if that person has sent you some mean messages before doing that. Then there's their timeline. They claim that they can't change the Kaya & Co name because it's part of the case and because it's evidence, but they hope it'll get sorted by the end of the year. 1, your social media name is having zero impact on any criminal case unless you're the defendant. As the victim, they wouldn't be saying to them, don't change your @name, okay? I'm genuinely laughing at this. This is the dumbest lie I've ever lied. Just be honest, it'll screw up your view count. 2, unless the person is pleading guilty, in which case evidence is irrelevant and the case would be resolved within a couple of months tops. No criminal case in the UK is seen through start to finish in 18 months. LOL. You're talking years. Even Kitty Fiddle. Never heard that term before. They get bailed to have their cases heard 2+ years down the line. They're just a system. That's just the system here, especially for minor offenses. And a creep turning up at your door isn't fun, but it is a minor offense that I still don't believe for a second the police would arrest for. Because isn't it trespassing? I don't know. Anyways, all I'm trying to say is this isn't the only person who lives in the UK. Maybe other people with UK have different opinions and experiences. Because the stalking/harassment laws in the UK aren't fit for purpose and women die every day because they are failed by these laws. I was told he had to do something in order to arrest him. That means hurt me. Shut. Oh, that is so messed up. Oh my God. Well, is that true, UK people? Sorry if I killed the earplugs people. It was only after a moron provided unquestionable proof on top of my year's worth of police reports of his constantly stalking and the fear I lived in that he could be arrested. I literally knew the cops that were handling my case because I was in contact with them like once a week and they could do nothing. I am sharing this because DissociaDID cannot unring this bell. They have made these statements now and they can't really pull off changing them. That is fishy. So, like I say, I don't know. I'm looking for anyone else in the UK, because in the USA, I don't know if somebody showed up at your door unwanted and you asked them to leave and they didn't. Isn't that? I can't. Okay, wait. Thank God, someone from England here. Wait, you are England? Hello, it's such a pleasure. I've been stalked, harassed, etc. I told my mental health team and they contacted the police. The stalker was left to roam the streets freely because there was no evidence besides my account. Why? I don't know. It might be similar to that in the USA. I'm not sure. No, they don't have to be hurt to be arrested. She's out of date. Thank you for sharing this YF, because I'm not trying to give misinformation. Try not with what this person says about CSA. Britain is actually much better than what she's saying. Okay, I appreciate you saying this. Yeah, I don't know, because I don't even understand the laws in the USA. They don't have to hurt you, but you do have to have evidence that they intend to hurt you. So, but what if they're, okay. To harm you or are intimidating you in some way. That can be hard to prove. If you have a baby reindeer on US Netflix, it's a perfect example of how you have to have a lot of evidence. So is social media evidence not enough? Anyways, I do appreciate you all sharing this. But anyways, what Peggy was saying earlier was we got to take a look at this, but I don't understand what this is. Like... So I guess, Peggy, we will have to talk about this, and I will talk about this in like another live or something, because I do not know. Okay, any last thoughts? I think we're done. Oh my god. Well, in that case, I don't know. Did I already read this one? Is it bothering anyone else that DissociaDID is now profiting off of system communication? I watched the What's New video posted on May 20th, 2024. As a system host, I would never try to sell my personal interactions with other alters and info on their mental health state. It seems intrusive and very icky. I don't feel like everyone in a system can consent to hosts selling or otherwise hiding behind a paywall updates about them. Yeah. It just gives me the ick. I was wondering if anyone else felt the same way. So this person said, they have always commodified their alters. Back in the day, they had Patreon tier that let people essentially buy a Skype call with Kyle. I don't know what's more terrifying, all of this being fake or the alters being real and used as cash cows like this. Lose-lose situation. TBH, both are despicable when you weigh out the effects on both sides. Yeah, this person says, yeah, especially since me and my system, most communication is very vulnerable moments that I wouldn't dare talk about in detail on the internet. So the Skype call with alters. Want to talk face-to-face? We will give you a private call and have a 30-minute Skype call with a member of the DissociaDID system. So yeah. $300 for a casual Skype conversation, but that's really weird to me. They were ready to speak with complete strangers and potential not great people on a video chat after being so cautious about exposing details regarding their littles online. Yeah, I don't know. Page 3, where she says DissociaDID alluded to Ari. I'm sorry, we've been playing like phone tag this entire live, Peggy. Okay, so page 3. Dose, trace. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but this was from OP, who wrote this whole, you know, this whole thing, all right? This whole thing. The person who told their story about being friends with DissociaDID for 3 years. I have a couple things to say. Hopefully they will help you in your future relationships. Is this the right one, Peggy? I apologize for the radical mood shifts as I navigate the end of our friendship. The disorder do be disordering. I shouldn't email or contact you again after this and suggest that you block all of my known contacts after this so you feel safe. The first thing that Tartan said to me was that I deserved support for supporting you. I see and believe that now and think that's one of the biggest issues in your friendship. Your husband brought this up and it really made me think. The same thing happened to me happened to Braided. We both made mistakes sharing information we shouldn't have, but I'm not malicious, but not with malicious intent. In their case, I was trying to defend you. In my case, I needed to talk about it. You discarded both of us and without stopping to consider how heavy being friends with you is and how we had no outlet for it. I don't think this is the right page, because if it were, and you went to the intercourse clubs and were assaulted. You tried to commit by hanging, and the only reason it wasn't successful was because the branch broke, but Now there's something probably seriously wrong with your neck. Wow, I'm so sorry, you guys. That must be really fun to hear about. I'm just gonna go through all of this really quick. So this is to DissociaDID, and this was them helping them about the faking accusations in the Reddit video, but this person is basically writing a video outline for them. Page 4, my bad. Okay. So we'll continue on where we left off. So very triggering thing. And then that you live in the same town as all of your abusers and can't escape. You consistently have no food. Wait, is this what they're telling them to say in the video? Because if that's true, oh, that gives me the ick. Because it's like, you're bringing that up in the same light that, like, you're saying, you're not allowed to say negative things about me because I'm highly traumatized. That you consistently have no food to eat and no future plans about how to alleviate your dire financial situation. That your mom was leaving photos of your abuse out for you to find, possibly in a ritual. You sent me pages of your programming, and I wasn't allowed to say anything to anyone. I still can't. I still carry it in silence, completely alone. Yeah, I mean, that's I can't imagine how awful that is like seeing your friend harm themselves and worse, you know, and they're telling you not to say anything. Like, you have to, you care about them, and not only that, but you have to carry that alone now. You know what I mean? Like, that is, it's something you shouldn't expect from a friend, you know. Anyways, I don't think you guys stop to consider how it affected me or Braided. How painful it is to know your best friend is deeply unwell and in horrible, with no way to help and no one to talk to about it. While our situations were similar, Braided's response and mine were very different. They defended themselves while I didn't. I didn't try to explain my side or make an excuse, but it never mattered. It didn't buy me any grace. There was never any. There never was any. One mistake is all it took to be thrown away, both me and Braided. Is this where they talk about it, Peggy? Anyways, I have a hard time believing I was anything more than your free therapist and mother figure. You used me to vent and treated me like I had signed a doctor-patient confidentiality agreement. I made spreadsheets of your doctors to try to help you. You didn't reach out though. Your trauma became mine to sit with silently, and it doesn't seem like you cared to think how it affected me to any point. I caution you against doing this to a third person. No matter how close you think you are, don't tell them all those things. Don't put them in a position to carry all of those heavy things of yours and supporting you while denying them anyone to support them. Don't send them pictures of all the things that could break the internet if they were ever hacked. Don't put all of that weight on someone and expect them to never talk to anyone else about it. It's astronomically unfair to that person. It was unfair to me and unfair to Braided. I wish I could reach out to Braided, let them know that you did the same thing to another friend and they aren't alone. I wish I could tell the community that they were right about the red, yellow, green video being too close to BDSM advice. You recorded that while you were going to intercourse clubs with someone, I don't know. You took BDSM content directly out of the dungeon and sanitized it for mentally ill audience, but not enough because they could still tell exactly where it came from and hit the nail right on the head. But I can't. I'm bound forever to promise that never took my own well-being into account. I can only talk to my husband and therapist, and that's not enough. I have to just live with it. Don't do it to someone else. It's not okay. I hope you get real help soon. This person is saying that they're not getting real help right now? Is that what you're on about? I'm getting help for me. I shouldn't have given you tips on how to avoid being sectioned. yeah, maybe. But you know what? Hindsight is 2020. That was perhaps my most egregious, I'm not going to try to pronounce this, error that may end up being my biggest regret, even more than I regret sending the emails. I hope you find peace in the real world and never return to the DissociaDID project. The community is not good for you and you are not good for it. Do we have any tea? We got water. I hope you get out of your town and away from the people who hurt you as a child. I don't think you can ever really get better until you do. I hope blank gets locked away forever and all good things come to you. Wait, what's this? Couple suggestions for, oh, they were that's lovely. They were helping them with the system update video. So it was Kiwi Farm's fault that DissociaDID tried to unalive. That's fun, allegedly. Bunny. It's not because I don't love you. Okay. Okay. Anyways, I do appreciate reading that because I was kind of confuzzled at first. Why did I say confuzzled? Is it 2010? Boys cis talk, faking accusations, Reddit infighting. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! How did I not see this? Oh my god! You guys, my name is on there! Oh my god! If you guys didn't know, my channel name used to be Yggdrasil Nymph. Thank god they didn't talk about me during the video. I would have been like, bye, and I was like... Oh my god. Well, now I gotta see like that. Because, I mean, I just kind of assumed DissociaDID doesn't really, like, watch me because, like, they don't want to see negative things talked about them. And I'm going to continue believing that. Why is my wait. Oh yeah, no, that was a bad time. Yggdrasil Nymph made a video suggesting you are a covert narcissist and also touches on sociopathy and histrionic personality disorder and uses a lot of your footage. When was this sent? 2022? Yeah. No, I mean, I do have to come forward and say that, like, I definitely should not have made a video speculating about any mental illness of any person on the internet, because obviously you can't know. Although I think in the video I did kind of make it clear that, I wasn't, like, diagnosing anybody, because I was just simply stating, I'm pulling a Dr. Grande. I'm not diagnosing anybody, but simply stating symptoms. All right, well, that is, I'm kind of like feel weird now because I don't like that I was talked about, but that's fair. I mean, it's the internet and I'm putting myself on the internet. So anyways, I think that's pretty much all for today, you guys. But if there's anything else you want me to talk about, let me know. Everything in this video was alleged. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, turn the bell on if you're feeling risky, and comment below. And, wait. I thought that was you, but doubted it in my memory. Yeah, because I changed it because nobody knows what Yggdrasil is. Well, a lot of people did know what Yggdrasil is, but a lot of people don't. And nobody knows what a nymph is. A lot of people do know what a nymph is, but a lot of people don't. So anyway, that was weird. Hi, Eric. Yeah, I've never heard her seriously talk about them besides getting the name EMDR wrong, which is just odd. Yeah, calling it EDMR. With how open about everything she is, why not talk about the therapy that's important unless you're not trying to heal, right? Like, if you're gonna talk about these personal things, like, you know, that you're talking about now, why not talk about that? So anyways, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, night, whatever the case may be. Let me know any video suggestions you have, and I appreciate your patience on all of my fake disorder cringe videos right now. But anyways, have a lovely rest of your day.